So we have a few people from our office here, Roberta Gore, Marie Everett, Shiloh Johnson, who is our Market Center Administrator, MCA in the Keller Williams world, handles financials, can run your production, all that kind of stuff, and Antoinette Sweeney. So, and Val Toya, sorry, you were meshed in with our Los Lunas friends. And Deb Nikita, who many of you have probably already communicated with, and Adrian Reyes is our tech trainer. So Shiloh's leadership, Adrian's leadership, I'm leadership, and Deb's leadership. And then we have a nice, and Maria's former leadership for many years, and then we have a few brokers in here as well. We did tell this is a stand-in class that we have. And so we told our brokers, for you guys here, we are in the process of inviting our friends from Los Lunas. There's a KW office there. They've historically been under Riverside and are in the process of moving to our Academy office. So we're super happy and excited to welcome them. We are going to do a formal welcome with you guys at a team meeting like we talked about, so we can welcome hopefully most of you. Before Adrian jumps in, so I think we talked last week when Alice and I were down in Los Lunas about Adrian's going on to another venture. So that's why I want you guys to really, really plug in today and get as much of the information as you can. And we are going to do some shifts with staff and stuff, and we'll get somebody that can handle this stuff, but plug into it right now while he's here to train you guys all of this. I'm super happy. And we are going to record it for the rest of your office, so that they can watch it and all of that as well. A couple of things, this is sorry for our office folks, but for our Los Lunas people, there's been a little bit of like, where do we go? What do we do? How do we? And God bless Deb, it's all kind of like fallen to her. So what we're gonna ask, Deb's email address is right up there. Deb Nikita is her name, so debnick@kw.com. If you guys need anything in this transition time and as we move everything over, if you guys wouldn't mind just emailing her. She's very diligent about watching her email and getting back, and if it warrants a phone call, she'll call you. But I think everybody's calling her about 90,000 different things, and she's very difficult for her to keep everything in order. So if you have a need, you want to know who to talk to, anything like that, email Deb so she has your contact information, your email, and she can start to organize that, okay? And if you guys will, any of your friends down there that aren't here today, if you'll send them that and just make sure that's the messaging, I'm also going to talk to Valerie and make sure she knows that that's the best form of communication moving forward, just so it's not too jumbled. With that, yes. All right, and with that, I want you guys to maximize your time with Adrian. So thank you guys for coming up here and welcome to our office. Take it over, my friend.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, welcome. I'm gonna break this down. So I want this to be a resource for you guys. And it's being recorded. It'll be on YouTube, so it'll be available along with all of my other videos that are on there. But I want to kind of break this down. So for those of you that are online, for those of us that are from this market center or have been from this market center already and aren't new, then we're going to get to the command overview. But first, I do want to give our Los Lunas friends, I want to give you guys where to find resources. So I want to break things down real quick. So the first about 10 or 15 minutes of this is going to be where you guys can find your resources. And then we're going to go into the command overview and how to really maximize command as a CRM for your business. Okay. So first things first, the resources. I always break down KW's resources into 3 levels. And I know that you guys have been KW, but with coming to our market center, we provide a lot. We've really worked hard on getting you guys just the resources that you need to be able to plug into whatever it is that you need that's going to help your business. So we have a lot of stuff. So look at it in three levels. Okay, you're gonna look at it in three levels with regards to resources with KW. And those three levels are gonna be bottom level, first level is gonna be hyper local, right? So we're gonna be looking at the stuff that is specific to Market Center 239. Okay, stuff that we've created in-house for you guys. So think of it hyper local as being like that bottom tier, right? Beyond that, we go into what's basically going to be the regional level, right? So regional level, that's where we're looking at our Go benefits. And are we all aware of what Go is? Okay, so Go is basically our ownership, right? Every office is independently owned and operated. So Go is our, excuse me, is our ownership. And it's G and it's O, right? That's Go. So the G is for Smokey Garrett. So the G comes from the Garrett, and the O is from David Osborne. Right. So Garrett and Osborne, they own Go, the Go companies, right? So that's or Go Management, and that's who owns us. So that's where that comes from. So when we are receiving a lot of the tech benefits like private collection, iFinder, homeowner.ai, Novalink, all of these different things, those come from Go, right? Other KW market centers around the country don't have that, right? We get Shannon Steer coming here all the time, and Shannon's like, I wish I was a part of a Go market center. I don't know if you're familiar with Shannon Steer. She's a really big time coach out of Kansas City. And she comes in, she flies in once a month to talk with us about building our businesses and growing, right? So she raves about all the benefits that we have because she doesn't have that. She's not a part of the Go region. Okay. So that mid-level is your regional, it's that Go regional level. Okay. So for that, and I'll break down what's going to happen in each one of these tiers. But then right after that is going to be basically your national or your international tier, right? Because KW is an international company. So let's look at what all of these, let's go in reverse now. Because you're probably familiar with the national and international already, right? So national, international, we've got KW Command, right? Every KW around the world has access to Command, has access to KW Connect, right? For now has access to My KW, right? So these are all the things like My KW, what do you use it for right now? What do you guys use it for? You go into My KW, why are you going into it? Most people are going into it for floor duty, right? Maybe to get some reports, things like that, right? So you're using My KW. Everybody's already, for the most part, usually pretty familiar with that because that's where you go to sign up for floor duty. In fact, Connect, a lot of people are familiar with that because you're going to go to Connect to see what's going on with family reunion or Mega Agent Camp, or to find the KW playbooks, right? Things like that. Let's take a look at it real quick. I don't want to dive too much into this, but I just want to give you a visual on this. So if I'm in KW Connect, we sign in, I'm finding all those national and international resources, right? So if I scroll down just a little ways, they have the popular resources there. And this is really, really good stuff, right? People go to family reunion, people go to Mega Agent Camp specifically for that market update from Gary Keller, right? Twice a year. They pour a lot into that. They're really great stats, and that's how you find them, right? The other thing that a lot of times people come into here for is the playbooks, right? The MREA, the book itself was published, late 90s, early 2000s. It's an older book now, right? And the market's changed quite a bit, right? In the last 25 years since that book was put out. So they've updated things with regards to the MREA, right? MREA talks about 33 touch, right? And then Business Planning Clinic comes in and teaches us 36 touch, right? So all of these things evolve. And if you're going to want to stay up to date with these things, this is where you would go to find those updates. Okay, so we've got the MREA playbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. Volume 2 just came out. Like literally like in the past, what, 3 days, 4 days? Like the volume 2 just came out. So if you're really wanting to stay on top of all that, that's where you would find it. And then kwconnect.com.
Okay,
And then the KW playbooks. I always tell people as they're coming into KW from elsewhere that you come into KW because they're the largest franchise in the world, largest brokerage in the world, right? And when you go into any large company, any well-oiled machine at that point, there's tons and tons and tons of resources. So the nice thing about KW is that they will literally hand you the systems that you need to build your business and make it bigger. They literally hand it to you. You don't need to go out and like every realtor that I meet, especially when they're starting out, is trying to figure it out. They're researching, they're looking all over the place, they're Googling stuff all the time. You don't really need to do all that. Because literally KW hands you the book and says, just do these things. Right. So if you're following the MREA, especially the updated versions, if you're following the playbooks, these are all basically instruction manuals to operating your business. Is anybody familiar with the playbooks? Who's used them? No, you have. Anybody else use the playbooks? Anybody online? What are the playbooks? Why do we have them?
well, so you can take a particular thing, like they have an open house playbook, they have social media playbooks, they have, just anything that you want to lead gen with, and you can take it, and if you, a lot of times if you follow them verbatim, that, you can master that.
Yep. Literally, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a playbook for you to do social media, for you to incorporate AI into your business, for all of these different things. There's one of the more popular playbooks, because I talk with all the tech trainers from around our region, and then I also go on the national call, and they say that one of the most popular playbooks for people to use and to gain something out of, the most valuable one, is the Mortgage Hacks playbook. People are doing like first-time homebuyer seminars and stuff, utilizing the Mortgage Hacks playbook, right? Bringing in a lender, hosting a seminar, and like just going, like she said, verbatim right from the playbook, talking about how to go about learning about mortgages, what different types of mortgages, how can first-time homebuyers benefit from this stuff? Like it's literally, they hand you the systems that you need. Okay, so that's at the, yeah, go ahead.
How did you get to this page?
I just scrolled down. So when you go to kwconnect.com, it's still the homepage. I just scrolled down a little bit.
If you go, well, what is it? But if you go into command.
No, it's not in command. It's not command. This is the kwconnect.com page. There is KW Connect. There is KW Connect in command, but it is different.
It is.
It is different. So when you go into KW Connect in command, that is strictly just for educational. You're not gonna find the market update. You're not gonna find.
The market.
Oh, do you? Okay, well, then you've updated. So, but you're not gonna find like a lot of the resources that you're gonna find on this page. You'll find the playbooks, and they are, so the idea of command is the command is basically gonna be your one-stop shop. Command is gonna be eventually where you log into, like the thing that's probably closest to going away is MyKW. When we look at MyKW, and I'll even log into it real quick, like when we look at MyKW, it's the most antiquated of all of the resources that we have. This is an old website, right? If I, like, for me, somebody who's involved in tech and I'm looking through this and I'm like, this isn't very appealing. There's nothing that's like really engaging with me. If I want to get to my market center stuff, I have to like, either scroll down to the little quick links down here or find it up here. It's not user friendly. So this is the closest to going away. Yeah.
So if you do go on and you're on command and you click that one button of connect, you can, I put it in all learning and I just put in playbook and everything.
Awesome. Yeah. So everything will be transitioning into command eventually. Like just recently, what's the most recent thing that moved into command completely? Does anybody know? And I wouldn't expect any of you to know, but it's the Winmore. If anybody's familiar with Winmore, that is how our leadership, like Shiloh, when she's doing transmittal every month, she was doing it through Winmore. Winmore is no more. They have just transitioned Winmore into Command. So kind of showing that basically KW is moving everything into Command. They're even running their own business out of Command. All of the transmittal stuff, so for doing all of like the DAs and everything is moving into Command. Right? So even on our side, on the staff leadership side, we are having to learn to use the back end of Command. So Command is what we're using to run KW. Right? So they stand behind it that much that they're using it as well. Okay. So let's break it down now. So we did national, international, and then we're going to go down to regional. We're going to go to our Go benefits, right? So for Go, who's familiar with Novalink? Of course, Marie.
I am a little bit.
Thank you. So we have Novalink, right? So the Novalink is where like Go is all about this. Okay. Go is all about this. And Los Lunas, I'm not sure if you guys are set up with this. I'm unfamiliar with what the other market centers are set up with. But maybe I can look you guys later on. I can look you guys up to see if you're in the system. They might have set you up and not given you your login information.
They might have set them up, so long ago,
Yeah.
when they started, I remember when Novalink came out, but it would be your email that is on the roster.
Yeah, we can check it later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just,
but basically when you get in here and you're looking at Novalink, this is where you're gonna find those Go benefits. Okay. This is where we really kind of start to set ourselves apart. Okay, because the Go benefits are really huge. It's like I just told you, like Shannon Steer comes down here and is like a little jelly of what we have, right? Like she wants to be able to have access to something like private collection. And Los Lunas, are you guys all familiar with private collection at all?
well, they've been talking to us about it, but we have never used it.
Okay, so let's glance at it real quick. We're not gonna do a class on it. There is a class that I have recorded for it. But let's just take a look at it real quick. Yeah, I should have just gone from Novalink. So I'll go to my business. I'll scroll down and I have it right here. Go private collection. I favorited it. So I hit that little ribbon. And so then it ends up over here on my favorite side. So I could have just clicked on that and gone straight to there, but I wanted to show you where it's at. So if I click on Go private collection, it takes me in here. I can log in. And then basically this is, and I'm gonna have to edit this video now. But basically this is what we're looking at go ahead.
Whoever just put in there, because I just got an email about private collection today.
Yeah.
For properties, I think that were just put on.
Mario just added a bunch of stuff in here, 3. So
Yeah, but this is the first time I've gotten the email.
then it matched whatever your search was set up for.
I've never put a search in.
Okay, we'll get to that. Like, I'm not diving into it though.
Okay, okay.
So this is just a quick glance at what it looks like. So if they've shown you this, then they've probably shown you what we already have in there. And this is what we're looking at. This is all off-market stuff. Okay. This is a huge opportunity. I always kind of poke fun because I'm like, so many other, like everybody has off-market inventory, right? You talk to any of the other brokerages. I always talk to the people that are coming in from other brokerages into us. And I'm like, what did you guys have? What were you using? Oh, spreadsheets. I'm like, that's cute. What is this, 1999? Like, that's real cute. So I'm poking fun, but like seriously, like real estate, we all need to start stepping into what's coming. Right? Everybody's talking about, oh, AI is, take over jobs and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, technology is advancing. It's advancing faster than it's ever done before. And we need to start plugging into it. And this is one way to do that. Okay. This operates, who here is familiar with Flex? Flex. Should be everybody.
Everybody.
Should be everybody. So this operates in a very similar but very simplified way that like it's incredibly similar to Flex. Okay, you set somebody up in Flex on a subscription, and that does what?
Sends them properties of interest.
Sends them
or
properties.
area.
We have that ability in here. You set somebody up in Flex with a portal, what does that do?
And them properties so that they can see what's on.
There's a difference between subscriptions and portals. So I used to work at the MLS and we used to get this all the time. So a portal gives them access, right? Now they can log in, they can do their own searches, right? So portal gives them access. You can set somebody up with a portal in private collection. So you can give them access. Office policies that you have to have a BBA signed. Do not give them access, do not give them the farm if you do not have a BBA signed. Okay, we want to really hold this under lock and key, because this is our bread and butter. But absolutely, you can do that if you want. Okay, so I tell everybody that as far as your buyers go and as far as your sellers go, this is the first place that you should be going. The very first place. You have a buyer, they give you, you guys talk, you do your consultation, you're moving forward, and now you're gonna start searching for properties. The very first place you're gonna wanna search is the off-market inventory. That's the least heartache, especially if they're in like 250, 300 range. Look here first. Instead of, because I've just had a buyer, we were shopping in the 250 range. Oh my God, everything that we looked at within 2 days had like 5 offers on it. Going up to bat for him against all those other offers when I could have just been looking in here. Right. So unfortunately, nothing popped up that he was interested in at that time, but like it's an opportunity. If there is something that if you can make a match out of here and possibly not have anybody going against you on an offer in that price range, that would be amazing. Right. So utilize private collection. That's one of the advantages from Go. Okay. Yeah.
Some of the things that you guys have that we don't have, do you have anything where we can, like a flyer or something that we can incorporate into our presentations?
There is a lot of, yeah, I'll have to look for it. When they first started pushing all of this out to us, we started getting all of that stuff, like all the flyers for it. I posted about it on social media. I know Mariah did as well. Like there was a bunch of us that really started pushing this. So that exists. I'll have to look for it and then I'll make sure that it's available as well. So we do have, what I was going to get to next is where you get to the hyper local stuff. We do have a place where you can go and you can find a lot of stuff. We have a share drive. So I can put it into the share drive and make sure that that's stuff.
We have a Canva on.
The templates?
Yeah.
Oh, that does have, yeah, you're right. Thank you, Marie. That does have private collection stuff in there. So if I go back to the homepage, this very first, because this there's that streaming scrolling banner at the top. That very first one talks about our templates. This will give you access because this is Go templates that were created for us. There's listing presentations in there, buyer consultations, like there's like all kinds of stuff in there, including private collection flyers and stuff. So absolutely, and they gave us a ton of stuff. Like you can see social media, newsletters, flyers and checklists, like postcards. There's a ton of stuff in there. So once you get into in different styles, noir, bold, like whatever, like there's they gave us a ton of stuff, and it's all Canva templates. So if you use Canva, you just pull it into your Canva, you throw your branding on it, and it's yours. Right? So it makes it super easy. So basically that, thank you for that, Marie.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. And that was a great question and we got the answer. Thank you. So that's kind of looking at that Go regional level of resources. Okay. Some of the other things I just wanted to point out real quickly, just to make sure that you are utilizing them, is under the My Business. Things that make us stand out are Go Private Collection, iFinder, which is your access to investors, right? And it's basically a pay to play. But once you pay the 175, you go through a little, what is it, like a 3-4 hour class, something like that. You do that, and then you have access, and then that's it. Then you're in iFinder, you have access to it. And you know how to go into their system and put in the listings that you have to try to attract investors towards it.
And it is, I mean, it costs money. There is.
It's like 175, I think. I want to say it's 175.
For your investors in that too.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that I always like to point out as well is this, at the bottom here is homeowner.ai. Is anybody familiar with homeowner.ai or HubSpot besides Marie?
Somewhat, yeah.
So these are platforms, or homeowner.ai is a platform that educates your homeowners. It educates your homeowners on their investment and protecting or even growing their investment, right? So it is, we've all heard those platforms that give you the reminders on when to do maintenance for different things in your home. This does that. Okay, so it gives you those maintenance reminders, like make sure you're, cleaning out this filter, or, cleaning out the gutters, or like whatever. It's gonna give you, you can go and add the inventory for your home, and it's going to give you the maintenance reminders for the specific inventory that you have. Okay, it's also a place where you can go and you can drop in all of your closing documents into it as well, right? So they have one place to go to find everything that they need. If they want to do a home improvement, right? They want to do some kind of home improvement project, they can go into homeowner.ai and play with it and see, if I do the kitchen, what is that going to bring me back in value? If I do a bathroom, what is that going to bring me back in value? It will always, on the home screen, so on their dashboard, it's always going to show their estimated equity that they've built, right? So I have mine plugged in, and when I get in and I look at it, and I've lived in my home for 17 years, I'm like, oh my God. So it gives me right there what I have to play with. And then it starts to teach me about that as well, right? So there's a whole finance section that I can go into and start looking at, what does it look like if I pull the equity from my home, or if I do a HELOC, or, whatever, if I refinance, like, it's going to give me all of those different options. And then it's also going to have little slider scales that I can play with based on what my credit could be, or based on where I might want my monthly payment to be, things like that. So you get to go in and kind of play around with it and like potentially pull your equity, buy another house with it, right? So that's something for your homeowners to do. You can always go into their hub, and you can always take a look to see what's going on in their hub, see if they've been in it recently, drop in some documents. It's tax season. Hey, I dropped into your hub and left all your documents that you need for taxes this year. All right. You can also invite other people into it. So if you had a great experience with a lender, you can invite them to it. So, excuse me. So everybody's kind of plugged into this hub. Okay. So that's our regional benefits. Okay. And then we get into hyperlocal. Hyperlocal, one of the biggest things that we did. So I'm kind of proud of this one. I tried to, like, everybody's always asking me, where's the link for this? How do I get to this? I want to register for this class. Like, I need the new forms, blah, blah, blah. Like, we put everything in one place. And it's all right here on this link tree. Okay. So we'll scroll through here. I have it pulled up on the screen already. If you need to get registered for Jen Cody's class that's coming up this week, that's where you would do it. If you want to get your team signed up for the golf tournament, that's where you would do it. If you need to access those templates that I showed you, right? You're like, oh crap, where did he say that was? Boom, right there. Quick, easy access to it. That takes you directly to the templates. You don't even have to log into Novalink, right? All of the new NMAR forms and the videos, that takes you directly to Ashley Strauss Martin's page where she has all that stuff. So you use this link tree to get you to wherever you need to go. You need to log into private collection. You need to go to our share drive, all of this stuff is right here. You want to give a shout out to somebody, spotlight somebody. The jot form for that so that we can spotlight somebody at our team meeting is on here. Or if you have somebody that wants to join real estate and you want to get them into the K-Score program, the link is at the bottom. Okay, so this is a great resource for you, and kind of, this is our hyper local. This is all the stuff that is specific to our market center.
Is the QR code anywhere else besides there? Or is it like a website or something we can get it?
So we have the QR code. We have it posted all around the office. We'll attach it sometimes to some of our flyers, just depending on, like, if we post, usually we'll post, depends on who's making the flyers. If we're making the flyers in-house and we need to post the link to get signed up for something, we'll post that QR code onto the flyer. If we're getting it like from Fidelity or something though, they're gonna post their own QR code on there. Yeah,
Can we save it on our phone so that we just
Take a picture of it.
yeah,
or save it?
absolutely. Yeah, or favorite it. You can, once you grab that and you go to it, you can do the little star on the website and just favorite it. Right? So there's a lot of quick, easy ways to get to this. Okay.
Adrian,
Teresa, did you have a question?
I do. How did you get to Linktree? I didn't see where you went.
You can just, so I have it because you'll have to just, on the computer, you'll just have to put in the Linktree address. So you can see it right there, right where my cursor's at.
Uh-huh.
Just linktr.ee/KW Albuquerque.
Okay.
But in the office, we have the QR codes. So you can scan the QR codes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then aside from,
Can you say what that address is one more time, please?
yeah, so it's linktr.ee/KW Albuquerque.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then, so the other more hyper local resource would be our training website. Okay. And so when I first took over this position, it was explained to me that KWNMtraining.com was supposed to be the training website for all the New Mexico offices, which is why it's named NM Training and not 239 Training or anything like that. So from what I understand, everybody should be getting access to this. And I know that they're not. Like, I know Santa Fe's not, I know Riverside's not, like, but everybody should be getting access to this. So we'll figure out what's going on with your guys' access. However, a lot of this stuff you can already get into. When we send out the team meeting slides every week, those slides go out with the link and the password to access the team meetings here on this website. Okay, so any of the recordings, and there's a lot of recordings, are all going to be hosted on this website. It is password protected. The password that you're going to get in that email, it's always going to be Academy 6703 exclamation point. Little brain fart there. But Academy 6703 exclamation point will get me in. And then all of the team meetings, like going all the way back to like February, are all in here. So if you miss a team meeting, we put out a ton of information. Ashley puts a lot into this. All of that information's here. And I labeled them all so that you can see what the subject matter for that even was. And it's a recording right here from the OWL. It's a lot of them, it's just the raw data. I didn't go in and edit it or anything. So you might have like the vendors coming in and like, you know, the sponsors for the team meeting or whatever, doing their little spiel. So you can fast forward through whatever to get to the main content. Okay. But that's how you would access it. Okay. If I go back one, so if I go back to the main page, it's going to be the same thing to access the tech classes in here. The Academy 6703, it's the same password because it is going to be password protected because I put the private collection class in here. I can't post the private collection class onto YouTube publicly because that's our off-market stuff. Right? So I did a class on it one time where I included it in this video too. I'm gonna have to go back and I said, I'm gonna have to edit it because I'm gonna have to put the little blur over our private collection because the public can't see that. They can't see the addresses of our off-market properties. But Academy 6703 under the tech classes in here, and you've got a full tutorial in here, a 30-minute full tutorial, or you've got a 6-minute quick start to get you in there. Okay, whatever you've got time for. And really, it's private collections pretty simple. I've given even just verbal minimal instructions to a lot of people, and they're like, oh, yeah, I got it. Let me go try it. And they get in and they get their listing put in, no problem. Okay, it's pretty simple. So, but if you need the guidance on that, this is where you would find that. Okay. Excuse me. Aside from that, the rest of the website, like one of the big things to go in here for is our 30, 60, 90s. We have a lot of stuff under our 30, 60, 90s. If I go into 0 to 30 tasks, it's got a whole laundry list of things that people should be doing in their first 30 days. Okay. A lot of this, you're like, oh, I've already done it. We brought in Mike Lizzie, right? And Mike Lizzie's been selling. He sold for Berkshire before. He like does a lot in Rio Rancho. Like I used to see his trailer all the time because I live in Rio Rancho. We brought him in and he's been doing real estate for over 15 years. He did the 30, 60, 90s and he came back and he told me, he's like, man, he's like, that was really good. He's like, I've been selling real estate for 15 years and there were things in there that it reminded me to do that I hadn't done. I hadn't set up. So you still might want to consider this, like go through it, look at it. And again, like, I don't know what your guys's access and accounts and stuff were like when you're getting put into all these systems, or if you were put into these systems. But once you do have it and you go to access these classes, because it is going to require you to log in, and it is a specific login that would have been given to you or sent to you. Yeah.
Where do you have the 30, 60, 90?
It's in the KWNMtraining.com website. So when you get plugged in, once you do put in your login information, you'll see that you get this completion bar at the top.
So
Okay.
We were never sent any information on this. We're gonna have to start from scratch on a lot of this stuff.
Okay. Okay. We'll make sure. Well, I'm here until Friday, but I'm going to try to make sure that everybody has everything that they need before I leave. Okay. But yeah, so you guys will get plugged into this, and then basically as you go through and you check these boxes for all the things that you're completing, it will track it up here at the top. And this is the reason for you having your own individual. I can't put Academy 6703 in here and then one person goes in, checks all the boxes, and it checks it for everybody, right? So this is the learning management system portion of the website where it is specific to you. Okay. So you go through here though, there's all of this stuff like start the 66-day challenge. If you need to learn Command, that's a great way to do it. Command is a beast of a system, right? Command is huge. I mean, Keller Williams literally has Command running their business, their international business. So Command is a beast of a system. And I always tell people, how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. And that's what the 66-day challenge is. It is one bite at a time. So it's videos that are like 5 to 15 minutes long, with Marty Miller teaching you basically one function of Command at a time. Okay. So this is another thing you might want to write this down. I want you to have a couple of really good resources on YouTube to go and watch videos, because mine is one, right? Or rather the Market Centers is one. So if I go to YouTube, so if I go to our YouTube channel, and it looks nice now. I put a lot of stuff and I made it look professional. I'm going to pat myself on the back for this. Our freaking YouTube channel looks dope. And there's a ton of stuff on here. Everything from the Mega Agent Camp panel that we just had last week, all the way to like Canva basics, adapting to the NER changes, with Richard Gibbons, Mimosas with Moneymakers with Joan DiGiovanna. That's actually what's prompted my leaving here, was hearing her talk and then reaching out to her, and now I'm gonna go work for her. So there's a ton of stuff in here, right? This is one channel to subscribe to plug into, right? Another one is let's see, it's not QW Command. Let me plug it in. It would be the Keller Williams main channel.
You want to make more?
No, not this one. My bad. That is not what I'm looking for. It's Marty Miller that I'm looking for. So Marty Miller, his channel, and it's just Marty Miller. This is another great channel. So if I go to Marty Miller and I go to his playlists, the 66-day challenge is on there, right? So Marty Miller is another great resource.
What point is?
I can't log in the KW training.
But what point? is
Okay,
Marty-
we'll take a look at that later.
What point is Marty on? What is that?
8.0. 8.0. Although I'm sure he's gonna be coming out with the 9.0
Yeah.
soon. Because it's been on 8.0 for a little bit. So his stuff is on here, okay? And then another one that Ashley asked me to point out as well, because they are gonna be a huge resource, is Scott Leroy Marketing. Scott Leroy Marketing has a ton of stuff, and they are pushing out content like 3-4 times a week. Okay, there's almost a new video coming out almost every day with them. So, and it's over tons of stuff. Building out your referrals network in Command, right? Like, what can they do for, like, there's tons of website stuff on here. So if you need to customize your website, like I have those videos as well. But guess where I got my information from? I got it from Scott Leroy Marketing. I watch their videos very intently. I'll watch multiple of their videos, and then I'll try to put a whole bunch of their information into one of mine, right? So at the end of the day, you've got a lot of options to find the answers that you're looking for, okay? So we have until 12 o'clock because then the TC meeting is going to be in here. So let's get into Command and really look at what all of it does overall. We're not going to get into details. I'm not going to get into, here's exactly how you go through the pipeline and all that. But I want to look at every single app that is on Command and what it can do for you. Okay. And how it all operates together. So who in here,
No, geez.
I already know Marie. Suck up. Who has, yeah. Who has Command on their phone? Who has Command on their phone?
I do.
Yes, good. So if I have Command on my phone, what benefit do I get from that?
I can make a phone call from there and go directly into my.
Bingo. What else? What else can I do? What other benefit to having Command on my phone do I have?
Well, I can see my profit share.
Get your profit share.
My profit share is if I add somebody underneath me and it's the money that I get monthly.
Yep, it's the passive income. What else? What else can I do with my Command app?
Add contacts.
I can add contacts directly from my contacts that are in my phone. I can add a new contact into my database. What else?
I can look at my tasks.
You can log in. Yeah, you don't even have to get onto your computer. You can, in the first thing in the morning, you can log into your app, look to see what tasks you have for the day. Who are you needing to follow up with? Who are you needing to call or reach out to them on social media or do a pop by or whatever? Who do you owe a CMA to? All of these different things can all live on that app through your tasks, right? So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the app, okay? Who has the consumer app on their phone? Talked about this. Jessica does. Who else?
I do. I think you had me put it on during our class.
All right, yeah, so a bunch of you do, because I told you to do it. And why did I tell you to do it? Why would you want the consumer app on your phone? You're not the consumer, you're the realtor.
So you can see what's going on.
So you can see what's going on.
Where you see the houses when
Yeah.
you can search? Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's what you would share with your client. All right, you would, because we're all fancy realtors in here, and we all have our own app. All right, if I'm going and I'm meeting somebody and I'm like, yo, how are you looking for houses? Oh, I'm just going on to Zillow.com. No, oh, no. Like, use my app. See, you get fancy, you have an app. Yes, I have an app. Right? Share your app. Have them log into the app and start utilizing that. They can start favoriting things, right? They can start, if they see something that they really want to go look at, they can request the showing through the app. Where does that go? If somebody requests a showing, where does that go?
Command.
Because you have your command app on your phone as well. So you will immediately, as soon as that gets requested, you'll get the little push notification that will come down and show you that, hey, somebody just requested a showing. So you get that immediately. All right, so these are the benefits of why you want these things on your phone. If they ask me, they're like, oh, I'm like, I want to favorite things. I want to start putting them into like little buckets. How do I do that? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's why I would want the consumer app on my phone. So that I'm logging into it as a consumer, just practice with it and be able to guide them with how to use that. Okay. Who's using their KW website? We're gonna talk.
I am.
Jessica, good. Why are you using your KW website?
I can't really answer that adequately. I link everything to my website, like my listing presentation, my email signature. That's
Okay, what benefits do you have with using your KW website with regards to like command and everything?
Landing pages.
Landing pages, open house. Thank you, yes. What does this mean? Landing pages. I can go in and create a landing page. And I did that with mine, right? I'll show you real quick what mine looks like. So I went in and I totally customized my website. You can search new construction on my website. Can you guys search new construction on your website?
Oh no, my son takes care of that.
Oh, my God.
You can search new construction on my website. All right, that's a landing page that I created. Okay, it's not pretty right now. I'm still working on it, but you can do it. All right, so if somebody clicks on that, I have my builder inventory and incentives and updates. When my builders send me those like monthly or bi-weekly updates on all what they have in their inventory, I come in here and I update it when I'm on it. I actually told the AmResting guy that I needed to update it and I forgot to do that. But this is where I can put, excuse me, all of that stuff that they're offering. Right, so AmResting, LGI, whoever's sending it to me, I can put it on here. And I can also have them click right here to search for new construction. And it takes them into Builders Update, which is Builders Update is a benefit of who? Why do we all have Builders Update?
MLS.
Yeah, because we're all members of the Southwest MLS.
How can we update our website? We go our name and then log in, or how do you do it?
There are videos that I have on that. You gotta go watch those videos. So if you go on to our most recent videos, like there's 2 of them more recently, they were specifically on how to customize your website.
Which do I find on my KW?
Go to the YouTube channel for KW Albuquerque. Go to the YouTube channel, they're on there.
Where's the YouTube channel?
YouTube.com and then just search for KW Albuquerque.
Oh, I'm on YouTube and just go to KW.
Go to Keller Williams Realty, ABQ is the actual address. Keller Williams Realty, ABQ, all one word. All one word. So So this is what it looks like right on my website. I customized this so you can search new construction. You can claim your homeowner hub. So that's that homeowner.ai that I was telling you about. I can have new homeowners go onto this website and claim their hub. Right, so that's a social media blast that I can do and direct them right to that landing page. I can go in here and for my neighborhood, I have a Northern Meadows neighborhood page. And this is specifically when you click on this, and it takes you in to look at information specific to my neighborhood. This was super easy to get, by the way. This took me like no time at all to add that page.
You are tech savvy.
Watch the videos. I'm telling you, watch the videos.
Yeah.
I walk you through step by step on how to do this.
But the other thing that can happen, because we are high-eyed, and I mean, it's just like, we just don't have time to do this kind of stuff, and we're like, what?
Well, then you have your,
If you go to Scott Leroy, and, you know, because Scott Leroy is gonna set you up with whatever they say so far, and then you can pay them to do some of that stuff.
yeah, you can definitely leverage, or if you have an assistant, like if a lot of people are using like cyberbackers and stuff like that, if they need to know how to do this stuff, if you're like, I want you to do this, and they're like, I don't know how to do it, here's the videos on how to do that. Then they can. They watch the video and now they have the instruction manual on how to do it, right? And the MREA talks about what's the first hire that you make? When you're starting to get really good at your production, what's the first hire that you make? Your admin. Right? And that's for a reason. Right? And then you can give them stuff like this to do. Okay? So that's how the app works, right? So the app and the website, you have these outside of command things. Leads come into those, either one of them, and it feeds into command. Okay? So if a lead comes into my website, I have my website designated right now. If they're looking for homes, it shows them 2 homes and then it forces them to register. Once they register, I capture their information and I immediately get a push notification on my phone saying a new lead just came in on your website. Okay, so these are little funnels to get them into command. Okay, I wanted to show that because all of this system works, it all works together. Okay, if I'm pushing my website, if I'm pushing my app, those things are pushing the data into my CRM. Okay, so then once I get into my CRM, wow, my CRM is what I should be logging into daily. I should be logging into this daily. I have a couple of past due things, so it's showing me that I'm probably not in here as much as I need to be. Obviously, one of them is my wife. It's got a little heart next to it. And it's a quarterly call, and I obviously talk to her more than quarterly. So, but I use her as a practice for me to, like, she's set up with all different smart plans, and I've tested things on her. So, but yeah. Hi, I get it. Like, you're not always going to come in here and do all of that testing and everything. However, you should have a test account. You should have yourself as a test account and test any new smart plans that you're going to send out. Test it on yourself first, right? Anything that you're going to be doing, any little changes that you're going to make, do it to yourself first.
Yeah, because if you go into a smart plan and then there's something, you know, something you have to identify yourself, and if it's not in there, then you're sending it out to your clients going, no, doesn't look good.
So when I get a lead come in and I do log in, how do I find that lead? For one, this number right here, so this lead's never contacted, that will go up. So I can go here, but also the little bell icon, this little notification right there, when I click on that, it's going to show me that that's where that lead came from. Or that it's going to show me that that's where the lead sits, all the information, okay, and where it came from. Okay, so I'll get the notification there. I'll get that push notification on my phone. So I should be receiving this, and I'll get an email as well. So I should be getting multiple ways that it's alerting me that I have a new lead and that I can respond to it. Okay. So how do I see what all of these icons stand for?
I want to answer.
Click on KW. Click on KW, or I can hover over it. But hovering over it gets to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But you click on the KW in the upper left-hand corner, it pushes out your labels, and now you can quickly see what all you have to work with. These are all the apps of your CRM. Okay. And I know I'm covering a lot, and this is being recorded. I just want to remind you of that, right? So if you are feeling like, oh, this is overwhelming, this is being recorded. Okay. And it will be, I will have this on to YouTube by Friday. Okay. So when I get on here, home is obviously already where I'm at. That's my dashboard, right? So it's all of these things that I'm looking at, and this is customizable. You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner that it is customizable. Just like your Flex MLS dashboard is customizable. Right? I've had a lot of people ask me about that because when I've done classes on Flex and I show my dashboard, they're like, that is super cool. How did you get all those graphs on there? And I'm like, it's customizable. Everybody's is going to look different, right? So you can customize it however you want. But I just wanted to point that out. And so you have all of these different apps over here. Well, for those of you that have taken my class before, when you get into a new platform, what's the first thing you should be doing?
Click. Sorry.
On what?
Click on anything.
On what? What specifically should you be clicking on?
Oh.
Nope.
Contact,
Nope.
KW,
Nope.
tell me.
Settings. Any platform. I don't care if you're getting into Showing Time for your first time, if you're getting into Flex for your first time, the very first thing that you should do when you are going into a new platform is go to the settings, right? Because the settings are going to dictate your experience with that platform. Okay, so whatever you have those settings at, it's going to determine what you're seeing, how you're interacting with this platform. So if I go into my settings, the very first thing I want to make sure is that all my integrations are done, right? If I need to be posting stuff to social media, the only way that that's going to work from command is that I have those things connected. If I don't have them connected, I can't expect them to work, right? So I want to make sure that all of the things on here that need to be connected are connected. So I go into my settings, I scroll through, and I'm going to take my time doing this. When you are connecting to social media platform or to an email service or to a texting service or whatever, it's going to have you log into that account. Okay, so if I go to connect account, it's going to say, what is your username and your password for Instagram? So I'm going to have to remember what that stuff is, which I don't know whoever remembers that stuff. I even don't remember that stuff, but I'll have to figure that out. And that's how I get it connected. Okay. Once I can log in legitimately, it's going to say, okay, you're verified. And now those accounts are connected. Okay. I get asked all the time about why your information is populating in a certain way. Like, why is my phone number wrong? Or why is my address wrong? Why does it still have my old headshot? Right? Those things can be found under Connect settings in your marketing profile. Okay, Connect settings, marketing profile. I click on this. This has to be just correct because this is what is going out everywhere. Even on like the main KW website, when somebody goes on to the main KW website and is looking for me, they want to verify who I am. Does this person actually work for KW? That website is being fed from your marketing profile. So whatever bio you have in here, whatever headshot you have in here, whatever team logo, whatever information you have on your marketing profile is what they are going to be seeing. Okay. So that you got to go in, you got to double check all of this and make sure that it reads the way that you want it to read. Right? If you have any designations or credentials that you want to put in there, make sure that you put that in here. If you have any affiliations, any military affiliations, put that in here. Right? If you have a specific bio that you're using, put that in here because everybody has a bio. But we all get the one that Scott Leroy Marketing did for us, and it's a generic one. So you have to go in and update it. Otherwise, if they're looking through realtors, they're gonna see that your bios are all the same. They might go with the person who actually has a legitimate bio. Okay? So all of that stuff is in here.
The legal footer.
The legal footer. Where's that? You don't have to put anything in there. So what they used to have to use that for was the, like, you know, each office is independently owned and operated, blah, blah, blah. Like, that no longer has to be done because that is automatically put into every website. So now the legal footer is just dependent on like state, like Texas has a lot of things that they have to include. So they probably have a large legal footer, a bunch of stuff that they put in there, all their documents and stuff. They probably put stuff in there. We don't have that. So mine's blank. Okay. Now let's go back to the apps. What's the significance of contacts?
The more you have, the more you can contact
What lives in there?
people that you call.
The people, my database. Right? And what does Gary Keller say about the database?
Your business, your.
The size?
Database.
The size of your real estate business is in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. Right? So your database is hugely important. Hugely. So if I click on contacts, this takes me to my database. I have a ton of leads. All these leads were coming in off of open houses that I did last month. So I've got a ton of leads that they're just sitting as leads for now. I need to convert those. But you can see that for one, right, we just had our database class where we talked about that we want to get this number right here, where mine says 146. I'm so ashamed. You guys can throw tomatoes at me, rotten tomatoes, please, because I should be at 201. I should have that number at least 201 or more. Why? Why do I need 201 contacts in my database?
That's what Gary Keller's.
The size and quality of your database is going to be a direct reflection onto the size and quality of your business. Right? So 201 is, there's actually a graph, and I teach this in the database class, but 201 is because that people always come into real estate saying that they come into real estate for, what's the number one thing?
Freedom.
Financial freedom. They come in for the money potential. That is the number one reason. And what is that magic number that everybody wants to make when they get into real estate?
$1 million.
Yeah.
100,000. They always come in and say, I want to make 100,000.
100,000. I want to make 6 figures. That's what they always say, right? So they took a bunch of data from those who are using Command and they graphed it all out to see, like, depending upon how many people you have in your database, how many people you have in there, how does that equate to the GCI that you're making, the gross commission income? Okay. So if you had 0 contacts in your database, like the average for that was that those people are making like between like $10,000 and $12,000 a year from their real estate business, which means they're probably doing something else, right? And that they get like 1 transaction a year, and it's probably like a family or friend or somebody that needs their help, right? If you have from 1 to 10, it goes up a little bit, right? So you have from 10 to 50 or whatever, it gradually goes up, right? So the point where that GCI marker breaks the 6-figure is at 201 plus. That's where we get the 201 plus club. Okay. That's why we say that if you want to make 6 figures, you got to have at least 201 contacts in your database. Quality, size and quality. Okay. An emphasis on the quality. So the way that you maintain that is right here through your contacts. Okay. You'll notice that a lot of my contacts, they'll have a lot of tags. I track a lot of stuff with my people, right? Excuse me. For one, and this isn't a database class, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this. Well, for one, and the database class, by the way, I was editing it before I came in here. And that will be uploaded to YouTube today. So if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will get an update saying that we just added a database class to that channel. Okay,
I just subscribed.
you go to the channel and you hit right where it says subscribe.
I did.
Okay, you did?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. The subscription numbers are going up. I love it. But one thing I want you to always look at is your contact's health score. Contact's health score is important. What does that tell me?
It tells you that if you have the address, the phone, the email, the more you have, the better the score.
Exactly. Exactly. If I have their home address, what can I do? What opportunity does that create for me? If I have their home address in command, what can I do? Send postcards and send mailers, right? I do pop buys. I can send them information about their neighborhood because if it's in command, command will recognize the address, will immediately attach it to a neighborhood. So let me show you. So let me go to my beautiful wife. My beautiful wife, I have her contacts health score at 100%. Right? Because I know everything. I should, right? I should have all of her information. But if I go down here and if I do have her home address, then it's going to attach her to the neighborhood, the primary neighborhood. It took that home address and it was like, oh, she lives in Northern Meadows. Now, when I go and I'm doing a follow-up plan, a smart plan with them, all of the smart plans that include something about the neighborhood, sending her information about the neighborhood, I can now do that. It just made that available to me. Okay, so I have her or had her on a smart plan. I don't know why it came off, but I'll have to double check into that. Under the smart plans, if I go add to smart plan and I go down to where is it? My biweekly neighborhood nurture. Did I pass it? Yeah. So biweekly neighborhood nurture, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to select it and I'm going to say start now. I read the TCPA, confirm. Before subscribing to content. Oh, there was an update with it. I gotta go in and fix it. Okay, so but anyways, that's how you would do it.
The update, why did you?
There's something in the smart plan that changed and wants me to go in and verify. So I have to go in and look at the smart plan itself and see what changed.
I mean, I do that on all mine.
Yeah, I'll look at it later. She's still receiving the emails though. Cause I know I just got an email confirmation that she opened one. So that's the thing about sending them these smart plans and these automated things is that when they engage with it, right? It goes right into your database. If they open something up. So if I go to her timeline, if they open something up, it's going to tell me over here. So for a little while, I had my, oh no, I still do. I have my database connected to my AI. So when somebody gives me a call, my AI is actually kind of filtering it for me. And then when I connect the call and I start talking to them, my AI is listening. And so it will transcribe all of my conversations. I didn't want this with my wife because as you can see, as I scroll through this, like it was transcribing all of our conversations, right? And it gets a little invasive. So with my wife, I turned it off finally. But with your clients, it's fantastic. You disclose something, you say something, right? The AI picked up on it, transcribes that, leaves it on their timeline. And now when they're like, Leslie, you never told me about that. That didn't happen. And you're like, oh, yes, it did. Like, yes, it did. And I have the transcription for it. And this is how you replied.
You have to tell them you're transcribing the phone?
It tells them when they
It tells them?
call. Yeah,
Okay.
it tells them. So, and it's just a transcription. It's not a recording, right? So that's kind of how like they get around like the whole like TCPA stuff. Like it's a transcription from an AI. So you've got proof, right? And it's going to help you stay out of trouble, right? So that's what I use it for.
Well,
But-
you also tell them from your email that's connected, It'll automatically put it in there.
So that's what's beautiful about having this stuff. So I have the command app on my phone. When a new lead comes in, like I'm at an open house and the leads are coming in. It sends me the push notification, hey, you have a new lead, Marty Englebright from, came off of an open house lead. I can click into it, it takes me right to the contacts card and I can contact them. So what I do going into open houses is I already have an image and the image has a photo of the home with me in front of it, right? So it's just a template that I do through Canva and it says, thank you for stopping into my open house. It says something quick like, I know it can be difficult to, navigate this kind of housing market. Like, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. It has all my contact information. So I already have that in my phone on my Canva app. And when I go and I hit that contact card and I click on text, this person just left my open house like 5 minutes ago and I'm already following up. I follow up, I add in that photo from Canva and just a quick little message on what we talked about. It sends it to them, it texts them. I copy that. So I just hold on to the message, I copy it. And then as soon as I click out of that app, it takes me back into Command. Command is still waiting for me. It knows that I left Command to go text. And so then when I click out of the text, it takes me back to Command and it asks me, do you want to record this activity? And I say, yes, I do. And it already knows that it was a text because I told it was a text.
So are you manually inputting the information right away into Command, or are you doing it through digital QR code?
I am doing it digitally, but it is not a QR code. Everybody in KW has their own KW website, right? It is usually yourname.kw.com. If you go to your website, give me a listing? Any listing.
5011 Coca-Cola. Beretta.
Coco.
KOKOPELL.
5011 Cocopelli?
Yeah.
Why is it not coming up?
Well, it is pending, but
Oh, yeah.
is that why?
Well, here we go. It's still kind of pulled it. All right, so I click on the address. So I search for the address on my website. I click on the address. It brings me to I know you like this. It brings me to, and pay attention, Antoinette, because this is how it works. It takes me to the listing information page from my website, right? So now I'm here on the listing information page, and here's what I do to access a digital sign-in sheet for my open house. I go and I click into the address, the URL, the address bar. And I want to make sure that the entire URL stays in there. And I'm just going to add on to the end of it. Okay. I go /OPENHOUSE, open house, /open house. And I hit enter. It's going to take a little bit because it's now creating a page for me. It's a digital sign-in sheet. Okay. A digital sign-in sheet. So it's still thinking. It's doing its magic. Just take a moment. Boom. I have my digital sign-in sheet. So I usually have my laptop open at the open house. I usually have my laptop open and it's usually somewhere in like the kitchen or whatever. And I tell everybody coming in, I've never had pushback on this. The sellers need everybody to sign in. Okay. They need to track everybody that's coming through them. I've not had any pushback on this. They put their information in, they check the boxes, they hit submit. Where does that go? Goes right to Command. I just got the push notification on my phone that I got an open house lead. Their information goes right into Command, and they're one of those ones that has the L next to it. All right, so let me clear that out. It doesn't mean loser, it means that they're elite. So like this Marty Englebright right there, that is somebody that's exactly what happened. I captured their information. So I have Marty's email and phone number, and that's how I captured it. Was they just signed into my open house. So now I can click on, if I have a smart plan specifically dedicated to doing follow-up for open house leads, right? Because I can create my own smart plans. My follow-up. I can create it however I want. I can customize it. I would just put this person onto that smart plan. If it's automated, then I just set it and forget it. Okay, now that person's gonna receive those emails or text messages or whatever I'm sending to them. If it's a task for me to call, it's gonna let me know, hey, like, it's been a week since we met Marty, like now it's time to give them a call. You sent them an email, you sent them 2 text messages, they still haven't responded, now it's time to call them. Right, or however you set it up, but that's how it would happen. So remember what I said, that I send them the text and then I copy it and I immediately go back into command, I paste it into that activity, and it shows right here. Right, so this is exactly what I put. I say, hey, Marty, thanks for stopping by today. It was really great meeting you and Marcos, whatever. Like, that's my message that I sent to them. So I track exactly what I sent to them. Right, and then right after they left, because I had my wife with me at this open house, right after I left, I immediately went in and put some notes about them as well. He came in with his son Marcos, late 20s. Marcos worked for the cable company, Cable One. Now he's at Intel. Like, I put all of that information in because people come in with their kids. They might come in with like a small dog or whatever. You remember those little details? They love you. They love you. You can remember those little details. You don't have to remember it. You wrote it down, right? So that's how I pull all of those things together. Right?
Do you like pull them out after like you do the open house and some of those people are going to have ages that they work with, and what do you do then?
If they, because I don't ask. I feel like if you ask, it becomes very transactional. So I don't ask. If they offer up the information, or if it starts getting to that point to where they're like showing interest in like looking at other houses or doing something like that, they give me those little clues, then it starts to pull those questions out. Are you working with somebody else? Have you signed a buyer agreement? Like, all that stuff starts to come out, but otherwise I don't really ask. Sometimes, and I've gotten pushback twice. And I remember it very vividly because even all the open houses I've done, I've only had it happen twice where they did not want me to contact them and they said so. Right. So when they check the boxes that they're agreeing to, it says that they're agreeing for me to contact them. And they've read that, like, guy that worked at Intel, like super like engineer guy, like very focused on details. He saw that. He's like, I don't agree with that. And I was like, shit. So I was like, okay, this goes directly to me, man. Like, I am going to immediately take you out of my database. Like, I do need to capture information so that I can possibly give this, like, the list of everybody who came in to the sellers. However, I am going to not contact you. I assure you, I am not going to contact you. He was like, okay, check the box, submit. And then I immediately went in and I will usually tag them as like a DNC, do not contact, right? So I'll tag them with that, and then I'll even immediately archive them so that I don't contact them, so even by mistake. So I will archive them, so they still aren't, they're in my system. So that if I meet them again, I don't remember, and I meet them again at another open house, the system's gonna remember them, but I won't accidentally contact them. Does that answer your question? Kind of, sort of. We don't have a lot of time left. We've got like 5 minutes and then the TCs are coming in here for their meeting. So I do want to just kind of briefly go through all this. We talked about you having tasks, right? Logging in here every single day, seeing who it is that you owe a CMA to, who it is that you need to make a phone call to, all of these different tasks. If there's a birthday coming up, all of that stuff will live under tasks to let you know what your daily activities are. Okay. The smart plans, we talked about that. That's like your bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. It could be a Valentine's Day smart plan. You like literally, if I go into smart plans, I'm just going to show you real quick. If I go into smart plans, I don't have to create a smart plan because we have a smart plan library. I can find one that works. So if it's like Veterans Day, right? I can go type in veterans and it's going to give me other smart plans that other people have created. And I can go through all of them. This one happens to pull up 33 results. I can look through all 33 results and see if I want to use any of them. And if I like them, but they're not exactly what I'm looking for, it's okay. I can download it anyways. By downloading out, hit add smart plan, that pulls it over into my smart plans. Now I've downloaded it, I can use it and I can go in and I can edit it. And you need to edit these. You need to go in, because there's some of them that if you go into them and you like notice how their language, like some of them will say like aloha. You know, like somebody obviously from Hawaii created that. And that's not how we speak in Mexico. You know, like we're gonna be more like, what up, ese? So you need to double check them, right? Referrals, and I'll show you real quick. Referrals is basically where you can build out your referral network. It's super easy to send referrals through this. Like I sent one to Joan not too long ago. I connected with this lady Pam out of Georgia through the KW military community. So now if I have anybody heading out to Georgia, I'm hitting up Pam. If Pam has anybody coming to Albuquerque, we do have a base here, so that could happen. She's contacting me. Okay. But you can look for referrals. You can go to the map. I see this in Slack all the time. People are going in, who's your person for Chicago? Who's your person for Austin? Who's your, like, I see that all the time. You can go in here and look for yourself. And you can look for on the map all different types of ways. You can go look based on their production. You can go based on a certain market center in that area. There's a lot of different ways that you can search for referrals right through Command. Okay. Opportunities, that is your pipelines, your buyers, your listings go in there, right? And I recommend that as soon as you are actually working with somebody, like you know that like you're going to be working together, put them in here immediately, create an opportunity for them. Even if it's like, you know, they're obviously going to work with me, but they're like 2 years out, that's fine. Put them in the cultivate stage, right? You put them in that cultivate stage, have all your checklists set up in there. And I do have a video on YouTube about how to set up your checklists. I know somebody knows how to use Command if they have checklists and they're using. If you go into YouTube and you go to the checklists video that I did, it shows you how to use Command at a really high level. Meaning that you put somebody into the pipeline, maybe you're already at the actively looking stage. You have all of these checklists in the active stage. And that is directing you on what you need to do. This works great with your admins or your TCs or whoever you're working with or your other team members, because if you're all working on one person, you can see what's been done on the checklist. You can also send those checklists out to them, to your clients. You can designate which ones go out and say this has been done. Right. One of the biggest complaints that I've heard from people, from consumers, is that they get no feedback from their realtor. Right. Like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, she came and put a sign on my property and then we didn't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. When we know that there's a lot going on, right? The way that you can follow up with them is to have those checklists being sent out daily. If something isn't done or doesn't get done or whatever, it's not going to let them know that it didn't get done. It's just when something is done, it lets them know. Like, hey, we just took care of this, you know, just went to send all the paperwork over to title, or, you know, just got the inspection ordered, whatever. Like you set those things up and then it lets them know what's going on in the transaction. Okay, automated. Campaigns, we've only got a couple more minutes. So campaigns are basically, and you'll notice it's a bullhorn. That is basically you getting something out there, whether it's a social media campaign, whether you're doing an email campaign, you're doing it could even be like a paid ad campaign. So maybe you got a new listing and you're actually paying for an ad on Facebook. That's how you would go about doing that. Okay. Reports. Marie mentioned that if I am using the Command app and I go to text somebody out of it, or I go to make a phone call out of the app, then I'm tracking what's being done. If you leave the app, like if you decide like, oh, I have their contact information in my phone, I'm just going to go to that. If you're using your phone and not the app, it can't track it. It doesn't know that you did that. Right. But if you're doing all that stuff and you're able to track everything, you're going to get reports generated on all that. Then you can really start to see where you're effective and where you need to put in some work. Okay. So if you're using the app at a high level for everything, reports are going to be fantastic. Designs is where you can find a bunch of templates. to basically like, if you're gonna do like a social media campaign or something like that, there's a lot of templates in there that you can go and utilize for different things. Whether you're trying to attract buyers, or you're trying to get a listing sold or whatever. That's where you would find that. Listings is obviously where you would park your listings, right? So if you put your listing into command, then when you go to do an ad or something like that for it, it's easy to pull that information for it. It's already got it in the system. Okay, and then websites, you saw my website. You can totally customize your website. Okay, and that's where you would do it from. Is right where it says websites. Okay, so there are tons of videos on how to do that. So I highly recommend plugging into those things. Yeah.
So before you go, like, for us that have not done anything with that, for command, well, some of the stuff, but, so you recommend for us to do the 60-day, that would be the best way to do it, or the 30-60?
Do the 30-60-90s, yeah, absolutely. Do the 60-60 challenge. Absolutely, with Marty Miller. That's a great way to do it. And then, so like the 60-60 challenge, like you're gonna learn how to use command, like one little thing at a time. But if you are looking for something specific, just search for that on YouTube or on our channel or on Scott Leroy's channel or whatever. You can search for that specifically. You're like, you know, I really want to push something out through my website. Like I need to build out like a landing page or something. How do I do that? Like search for that stuff on YouTube.
Okay, what about like, what do we do first? Do we do the 30-60-90 and then 66, or?
You might get bored. Like I have people that kind of get bored just doing one thing. If that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. You can do either, do the 30-60-90 or do the 66-day challenge or whatever. But sometimes people will do both. They're like, I'm gonna do the 60-day challenge, but I can only do like 3 or 4 Marty Miller videos a day, and then I'm like tapped out with Marty Miller.
And
Right.
they're like 5 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're short.
You know, there's like the listing presentation is a little bit longer, but everything's just really boom, 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 you know.
So, all right, I've got to shut this out because the TCs need to get in here. But thank you all for coming. I'm gonna get this onto YouTube as soon as possible. And I'm gonna miss you all. Like I understand, I'm not leaving the office. My license will still be here. But I'm definitely gonna miss you guys, but I'll try to drop in when I can. So thank you guys.